Hello, Purple Hearts, and welcome to the recap. Episode number 83. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hello, Felicia Fee. How you doing, hon? I hope you are doing well on today. I hope everyone is what to say. I'm on time today. She said recognize because I'm here. Recognize. Trust me, I get it. I get it. She said, I am on time today, girlfriend. Yes, I am. I know that's right. I know that's right. Girl, I almost wasn't on time. My dog was. I was back there in my room doing something else, and I was like, what time is it? Got my watch on my wrist. I was like, oh. Let me go sit down right now. All right, if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all already know what it is. This is the recap of the questions of the day for last week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I keep saying it. It's not fair for me to put the questions on the community wall and not come and answer them with you all. So that's why I am here. Hey, Sonia J. Happy Sunday. How are ya? I hope you're doing well. So, I also linked Monday, Wednesday, and Friday shorts in this video so that if you don't catch it now, you can come back and catch it later on, and you'll know what we're talking about because there are a lot of these shorts that I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we are on episode number 83, so that should tell you something. That should tell you something. Okay, so before we get started, I got something I want to talk about, and yes, it is lupus related, okay? Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb first because I almost forgot. Let's see. Notifications. Do Not Disturb on. Very good. Okay. So, for those who know, you know, I had my infusion on Tuesday, you know, because I keep saying it. Y'all already know, but I keep saying it just in case anyone comes across this video and they don't understand what I'm talking about. I have lupus. I hope y'all are appreciating this nice picture here. I had to think long and hard as to what to do for y'all for August. So this is it. A nice beach scene. Okay. Um Tuesday I went in and I had my infusion, but you know, my infusion usually doesn't get there until around about 11:30, 12, sometimes 1 o'clock. Thank you so much, Sonia J. Thank you. Listen, I might as well pretend that I went to the beach because I really can't go. It's too much sun. Hey, Lindsay, how are you, my love? I hope you're doing well. So, I went in on Tuesday, and um, like I said, my infusion sometimes it comes on time, and then other times it's late, right? So I got there so early because I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to prepare myself for this thing here. Okay. So I was all checked in and everything like that, and had my headphones in, and I was listening to an ebook. I had brought my blanket. You know, this was one of them days that my doctor wanted me to do blood too, but I didn't feel like losing my seat. That's another thing. If I would have went there and sat in my seat and then got up and left, when I came back, my seat would have been gone. And I would have had to wait for a seat to open, and I don't like that. I don't like that. So in the future, I'm gonna tell my doctor not to do that. Don't make don't make nothing else for me to do on that day. Okay, so I went on and I took a nap. Okay, I took a nap. I had my own blanket. Exactly. I mean, how you gonna make me do something else on infusion day? Come on now. I mean, knock it off. So I woke up and there were two other ladies in this room with me. So, you know, I didn't hear them come in because like I said, I had my earbuds in, so I didn't hear nothing. I don't even know if I was snoring, didn't give a damn, okay, because I was tired, like I said. So I gathered myself together. One of the ladies she's a young lady, okay? She came in for iron. So her iron infusion was almost finished, but her and the other lady, we'll call the other lady XYZ. We'll call her Miss X. That's what we'll call her, Miss X. Miss X was sitting there talking to the young lady and saying about how dry her skin was. And at that point, I was getting up to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, did what I had to do, washed my hands, As soon as I'm walking back into the room, I heard her say, yeah, I'm here because I have to get this infusion for this cancer lupus. My damn neck did a Scooby Doo. I was like, so I'm gonna say this. Sometimes God will put you in a room and give you a choice. You either ignore what is before you, or you can teach a lesson. Now, like I said, the young lady, her infusion was finished. So she was leaving out, and we was saying, have a good week, see you next time, yada, yada, yada. So me and Mrs. X was sitting there, and I said, how's your day been going? This is the way you get the conversation started. How's your day been going? She said, oh, I could tell she's a chatty Cathy. Okay. Oh, it's been going well. And, I just had to come here because I had to do this for the lupus cancer. I said, Mrs. X? First, I introduced myself. And I said, my name is Sexy Harlem. I didn't say that, but y'all know why I'm saying this. Okay. My name is Sexy Harlem. And she said, hello, my name is Mrs. X. And I said, it is so nice to meet you. Now, you said you're here for what? She said, cancer lupus. I said, Miss Ma'am, may I call you Miss Ma'am? Because this woman is 74 and don't look a day over 50. Okay? I said, Miss Ma'am, cancer and lupus is not the same thing. She said, well, that they wanted me to come here and do this because you see my face, and I immediately, when I opened my eyes after my nap and looked at this woman, I knew what it was. You can just tell. Okay, you can just tell. And I've been doing this I've been battling lupus for 28 years. It gets to a point where you can recognize it. Only 1% of the time are you wrong. Only 1%. Been at this for 14 years. Because she's 74 and they diagnosed her when she was 60. So I told her, I said, Miss Ma'am, lupus and cancer is not the same thing. It goes down the same road, and at a certain point, it veers off from each other. It is not the same thing. I said, and she said, yeah, the doctor told me I have to wear a hat, and I have to wear sunscreen, and I have to, I have to, I have to do this, and I have to cover. I'm telling you, this woman, although she just had an operation because she broke her leg, and she stopped taking her vitamin D and calcium pills. Okay, and when she just had an appointment upstairs in the same hospital, no, downstairs in the same hospital. So they're telling her, no, you have to start taking them pills again. Who told you to stop? She said, I just stopped on my own. No, 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 you can't do that. This woman, spine, her spine is messed up, and she rides in a motorized wheelchair. but her motorized wheelchair was broken. Okay, so they had to wheel her to the infusion suite, and her husband had her walker. But she can't use that walker. She has to have that motorized. Okay, let me get to the shit. Because I know y'all saying, come on, hurry up. You know what I'm saying? I gave this woman the rundown. I told her, I said, Miss Ma'am, first of all, she said, it took all my hair out. I'm wearing a weave. I said to myself, oh my God, she's wearing a weave. How the fuck are they gonna see her scalp? In any instance, in any instance. Okay, thank y'all so much. Because I know that I am long winded, okay? um, I told her, I said, Miss Ma'am, you have to start taking those vitamin D pills. I told her in short, I said, lupus is not something that's going to go away. I said, there's no cure for it. I said, and I'm just going to give you a synopsis of something that happened to me. So I told her about how when my platelets dropped, I was in the hospital and they had to put me in an induced coma. I said, lupus has tried to take me out more than once, and it didn't succeed. I said, Miss Ma'am, the only way that you are going to survive, because all she's talking about is Tootsie rolling in the sun with her grandchildren. I said, Miss Ma'am, if you are not going to wear a hat, she tells me, I hate hats. I said, yeah, I hated hats too. I did. I did not want to wear a hat. I said, but there are so many stylish hats out now, you would not believe it. I said, and you have to start thinking of your sunscreen, your hat, and an umbrella as armor against this enemy. She said, I'm supposed to go to Atlantic City and we supposed to go next month on a trip out of state and they want me to sit by the pool. I said, Miss Ma'am, I'm going to give it to you straight. I said, I don't want to disrespect you. I said, but if you do not protect yourself from the sun, you are going to wind up in the hospital and you will not know why. Let's see. I'm looking at these comments. They did tell her. She's not. Listen, Sonia J, they told her she's not listening. The thing is, she hasn't read. You understand? What she's doing is she's taking the medication and she's just going on about her business. She's still doing the same things that she did before she was diagnosed. And I told her, I said, it's okay for you. Okay, you don't want to wear a hat. Okay, have an umbrella with you. And I'm not talking about one of them $5 umbrellas, one of them, flimsy umbrellas you get from Chinwa. No. I said, that's another thing with the umbrellas. They have so many fancy umbrellas now. You can get yourself a parasol and it will cover you from the sun. I said, you'll be able to sit in your electronic wheelchair, hold your umbrella, and maneuver yourself around with your grandchildren. I said, but you cannot be out in that sun early in the day, all day long. I said, you can't do it. It's going to take you out. I said, I'm not wishing this for you. I'm telling you what I know. I am telling you what I know and what I have experienced. Okay? I said, she said, and they giving me this medicine, and I'm saying to myself, Lord have mercy. I said, when you had your medicine, how long was the infusion? She said, oh, it was a half an hour. I said, that's Sapnello. I'm getting ready to take the same thing. And when I said that, 2 nurses came in. They had her medicine and mine. Mind you now, this was at 11 o'clock. My medicine has never arrived at 11 o'clock. Okay? Hey, Outspoken, how you doing, love? My medicine has never arrived at 11 o'clock. So now, this was the day it was supposed to do all this raining. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is last week, Tuesday. So I told her, I said, there are a lot of things that you can do to substitute for the things you have to do. Things that you don't like, you can substitute them with something else. You understand what I'm saying? You wear weave, and I'm going to tell you right now and see, this is why I don't do weave. I'm going to tell you why I don't do weave. We getting kind of personal here, but I don't give a fuck, because somebody going to learn something. Oh my God. Exactly, Sonia J. Exactly. So, I told her before she got stuck, I said, drink some water so the stick won't be so bad. So we sitting there, we drinking our water. We both getting stuck at the same time. So our infusions are going at the same time. And they stuck us, and usually I feel this stick. Okay? I feel not a fuck ass thing this time around. All right? They took their equipment, went back out the door, closed the door. So I told her, I said, this medicine has nothing to do with cancer. Lupus is its own entity. It mimics a lot of different diseases, but in the end, it is its own entity. Okay? I said, Miss Ma'am, let me get back to the weave, because I almost forgot about that part. Some women who wear weave get your own hair braided, and then they put the stocking cap on top with glue, or they braid your hair and they sew it in. Okay? Those are the two reasons why I don't wear weave. Okay? And I'm not ashamed to wear a wig. In the beginning, when I was in the beginning when I had lupus and my locks, I had locks all the way down to my ass. Okay? My locks started falling out. I was waking up in the middle of the night finding one lock here, one lock there, two lock, three lock, four lock there. So I decided just to cut them out. Just cut them out and just let it be what it is. And I did. Okay? It was more than a divine mission. I'm going to tell you how I felt in a minute. Okay? So, me, myself, I wear the wig because the lupus, I'm going to tell you something else. If I didn't have scarring in my scalp, I would wear a bald head. Now, if the lupus just took all my hair out and didn't leave any scarring, in the summertime, I would be outside tootsie rolling with a bald head and some earrings and looking just as cute. Because I look cute with a bald head. What? The reason why I do not do weave is because the doctor wants to see my scalp, to see how my scalp is responding to medication. Each and every time I go to the doctor, no matter who it is I see, I am a good patient. I do my best to keep my appointments. I do my best to get there on time. Okay? I just, listen, this is my health. You only get one life, and this is what I'm trying to explain to Miss Ma'am over here. Okay? I'm trying to explain that to her. So now, I said, Miss Ma'am, if you don't want to take your weave out so the doctor can see your scalp, that's on you. I said, at least carry an umbrella. I went in my bag and showed her what kind of sunscreen I use. I said, do not get sunscreen. Do not get sunscreen that is less than 50%. You need 50 and up. Don't get that 30. Okay? You need 50 and up. My sunscreen is 70. It has an SPF of 70 and it's Neutrogena. I was really looking for the SPF of 100 because they have it. Okay? All right. So I told her, I said, Miss Ma'am, if you want to keep Tootsie rolling out there in the, outside with your grandchildren, if you want to keep taking these trips, then you're going to have to make some changes. I said, I want to see you on the 25th. I don't want to come here and I don't see you because you in the hospital because you didn't listen. Okay? Exactly. So, her infusion, I don't know how this went, but her infusion got finished before mine. I was sitting there extra 5 minutes. Okay, and the intern, the attendant came and got her with the wheelchair to take her downstairs. So I told her, I said, Oh God, here come my co-host. Please hold. Okay, so I told her, I said, Miss Ma'am, please do not forget the things that I told you. I know her name, okay? Like I said, I'm calling her Mrs. X. Right now, I'm calling her Miss Ma'am, okay? I told her, I said, please do not forget to carry an umbrella wherever you go. And remember, I said, don't get no cheap umbrella. She said, you know what? You are the first person that I've run into that has what I have. So now my brain does a flip and then repositions itself back to the way it was because I have never heard someone say, you are the first person I've ran into that has what I have. You have lupus. And you mean to tell me nobody else in Brooklyn has lupus? Because that's where she lives. She lives in Brooklyn. But I can tell that this woman has always been on the go all her life. You know, just enjoying life, just being out there. You understand what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with her enjoying her life. She's 74. If you made it this far and you want to keep making it, you better change some things. Exactly. This comment right here, right there. You mean to tell me that you think lupus is cancer? I had to clean that up. I'm sorry. I had to clean that up. She asked me, "Well, how long have you had lupus?" I said 28 years. She said, "Well, my goodness. Remember we was talking about, well, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through." Remember that conversation, y'all? Remember that conversation we was having about, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through? I'm going to tell you something. Although this woman is 74, I told you she don't look a day over 50. She don't look, even with the scars on her. She didn't even have on a mask. And she told me, "Oh, I can't wear the mask because I feel like I'm suffocating." I'm just like saying to myself, every fucking thing I'm giving you, you're giving me an excuse. You might as well go step off a building. Exactly, Felicia P. So I told her, I said, exactly, Sonia J. Exactly. This is it right here. So she told me before she got wheeled away, she said, "I'm going to take everything you said to me to heart and I'm going to make some changes." I said, "I hope you do, because This is not you can't take this lightly. You cannot take this lightly, and it's not cancer. Please remember that. It's not cancer. So I got up and I went over and I gave her a hug. She hugged me back. She said, "Okay, well, we going to be here on the same day, so I'll see you on the 25th." I said, "All right now. Have a good day." Let me tell y'all something. I have run into people, okay? I have run into people that don't know what it is. I have run into people that never heard of it. But for her to be severely misinformed like that hurt my soul. It hurt my soul because I'm like, what the? Who the hell told you that? Who told you that? I said that medication that you're taking, let me say something. I'm going to say this too. Benlysta and Safnevo are biologics. They are biologics, not chemotherapy. They are biologics. Whoo, girl. I get it. She's 74. At 71, yes, it is. But if you want to live, you're going to do this. That was so sweet of you. Some folks wouldn't have been bothered to educate. Listen, it's like I said, Linty. I pay attention to stuff. Yes, you have to. I pay attention to stuff. You understand what I'm saying? I pay attention to my surroundings. I pay attention to how and if the atmosphere changes when I walk into a room. You understand what I'm saying? You ever walk into a room full of people and all of y'all are there for the same reason? And as soon as you walk in, it's like the air changes. I know I'm not the only one this has happened to, okay? You walk into a room and it's like the air changes. Something shifts. It either gets heavier or it gets lighter. I mean, do you pay attention to things like that? Because I know I do. So when I came back from the bathroom and she said that shit pierced my soul. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. I'm an empathetic soul. I scope moods and folks' energy. Empath, yes. So, I mean, like, it just, I felt like I was being tested. I felt like I was being tested. That's how I felt. I felt like God put her in my pathway as a test. Either I'm gonna educate her the right way, or I'm just gonna walk around it. Like a sock on the floor. I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you something else. After she left and the nurse came in to take my IV out, She said, you have a lot of education on what was y'all talking about, lupus? I said, I've been at this battle for 28 years. This is not something that I asked to participate in. This found me and said, either you gonna die or you gonna keep on, you gonna fight. You gonna fight to live or you gonna die and ain't gonna do shit. So each and every day, this is what I do. I fight to live. And a lot of people don't get it. You know what I'm saying? They don't get it. They don't understand it. And they probably never will. And I can tell that Miss Ma'am has not read anything. She has not read anything. She has not been to a lupus walk. She has not done any of these things. And you've had lupus for 14 years. So you've been walking around all this time saying lupus cancer. Now, this is another thing that I had to school her on. I had to write it down for her. And I told her, get your daughter to Google this so she can get the number so y'all can get some help with your wheelchair. A lot of people don't know about the Lupus Foundation of America. A lot of people don't know about the Lupus Foundation of America. Why are you saying the Lupus Foundation of America is Sexy Harlem? You want to know why? Because one of those times that I was in the hospital fighting for my fucking life, this might be a small thing to a lot of people, but I didn't have anything to watch. The TV was sitting there on the fucking wall, and I didn't have no money to pay for the TV. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is way back when. It's about 10 years ago. Okay? So I didn't have the money to pay for it. You know what I did? And it was one of the nurses that told me to do it. I called the Lupus Foundation of America. I told them who I was. Here we go. That's right. Exactly. That's right. Right there. That was one of the first things I learned, and the support groups. I called the Lupus Foundation of America. I told them my name. I told them where I was. I told them what I was in the hospital for. I told them I didn't know how long I was going to be there. I said I don't have my phone. I don't have anything. I said I cannot turn on the TV because I cannot pay for it. Lady asked me, what hospital are you in? Let me tell you about how 3 hours later, one of their representatives was standing at my bedside. She was standing at my bedside and told me, we don't know how long you're going to be in here. She said, but we're going to pay for 2 weeks. She said, if you need another 2 weeks, she gave me her card. She said, call me. I still have the card. She said, call me. And I was in there for another 2 weeks, and I called her and they paid for it. So now I told her, I said, Miss Ma'am, you can get help with your wheelchair. All you got to do is call these people and tell them what's going on. Of course, you're going to have to give them your diagnosis, your name, your address, all these things, all the things, all the things, all the things, okay? And you can probably, and I told her, you can probably get a brand new wheelchair. Why do you think people donate? Why do you think people donate? There's the FLR and there's the Lupus Foundation of America. The FLR is for the research to find the cure. The Lupus Foundation of America helps those that need it, that have lupus. For something like that, she could have got a brand new wheelchair, and I told her that. I told her that. I said, get your daughter to Google and get the number. I said, because I don't have the number offhand. I know I got my phone in my hand, but get your daughter to Google the Lupus Foundation of America in New York. Call those people and tell those people what you are going through so that they can help you. Do you know what she said? I didn't even know there was a Lupus Foundation. Okay. So after that, I gave her the hug. She told me I'll see you on the 25th. I said, yes, ma'am. Have a good day. And that was it. But as I went back and sat in my chair, because after that I had to sit down for a minute. I had to sit down for a minute. And I said, God, I hope I did what you wanted me to do. I hope I did what you wanted me to do. And I got my stuff together. I started packing my stuff up, and y'all know, because I take my blanket. You know what I'm saying? All my essentials. I mean, I didn't have my tablet with me and all that stuff, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. They do, Felicia Fee. They keep the resources available. That's what hurts the most, Felicia Fee. That's what hurts the most, because I don't think she's listening. I really don't. I said, God, I hope I did what you wanted me to do. I said, Lord, now I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to call for my medical cab. Please don't let me get Speedy Gonzalez, Jesus. Okay? I don't want Speedy Gonzalez today. Okay? Oh. You were a vessel of hope. I pray she took it in. Listen, Felicia Fee, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. If I don't know if she's actually going to listen. I don't know. And what gets me is this is what happens with a lot of us black people. Okay, you did all you could do. Yes, ma'am. What's the second speedy break, y'all? Listen. Oh my God. Listen. I mean, I just hope that I did what he wanted me to do. That's all I can say. Okay? And I wasn't downstairs for very long in front of the hospital. Once I made the call, listen, it was a person that had picked me up before. He knew where I lived. So, he took me home and I got out, went in the supermarket, got a few things, brought my ass upstairs, took a shower, and went to bed. But what gets me is I don't like the way we won't read. I don't like that. I don't like the way we won't read. Oh shit! I don't like the way we won't read. It is too much. When the doctor told me what I had, and I'm gonna tell you, I rebelled for a whole year. I rebelled for a whole year until my mother got my ass and told me, no, you need to take this seriously. Okay? And I started taking it seriously and went on and did what I needed to do. And I've been on that path ever since. And I can't expect everyone else to walk the same way I do because not everybody thinks like me. You understand what I'm saying? Not everybody thinks like me. They don't have the same thoughts that I do. They do things differently. This is what makes the world the way it is because everyone is different. The only thing I asked for on the way home in that cab was for that woman to really take heed to what I said. Because I do want to see her again. You understand what I'm saying? Even if we're in separate rooms, I still want to see her again. You know? What you say, Lindsay? As an avid reader that has always hurt me, want to hide something from the majority of folks, put it in a book. Amen. Amen. Put it in a damn book. That's right. Because half of the motherfuckers ain't going to read it. Child. Mm-mm-mm. But that's what happened Tuesday. Thank y'all so much for being patient with me while I got that off my chest and actually told y'all that I was in the room. Okay? I was in the room and I knew why I was in the room. I'm not going to say I didn't know why I was in the room. I knew why I was in the room. I just didn't know that I had another job to do while I was in the room. Okay? And I sincerely hope I did my best. That's all that I could do. Alrighty then. So y'all have been commenting on the community wall. Y'all have been commenting on the community wall for the, oh my God, hold on y'all, hold on. Y'all have been commenting on the community wall for the questions of the day. Let me go on over here, because I was here, but I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, Linty, it was an eventful infusion day. And you know what scared me, though? What scared me was I could have just sat there and said nothing. That scares me. How many people have you been around and you needed some information and they said nothing? They didn't want to help you. They didn't want to even, if they ain't going to give you the answer, they didn't even point in the right direction. That shit is scary as hell. And being on this journey, fighting this damn lupus every fucking day, this shit is not a game. You could be all right 1 minute and whoa, in a coma the next. Okay? So it's not a cute thing to have to fight. And people, they don't want to read. They don't want to educate themselves. They don't want to do nothing. How the hell you just going to go to the doctor and rely on the doctor to tell you what it is? And you not going to do your own research for the one body that you got? I ain't never heard nobody say, you get a second body somewhere down the line. Or you get a second chance somewhere down the line. Or after you die, they told me that you get a second body and you get to come back. I ain't never heard that. So you supposed to take care of what the hell you got right now. If you don't educate yourself, how you gonna learn? Child, I can go on and on and on, but we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Let me drink some water. I have reached for the coffee. No, I want the water. All right, so this is the recap episode number 83. We are doing Monday, 7/27/26, Wednesday, 7/29/26, and Friday, 7/31/26. Did anybody pay attention to last Sunday's date? It was 7/26/26. All right, so here we go. Let me go over here and get this going. Monday, 7/27/26, and the thought for that day was strength is when you have so much to cry for, but you choose to smile instead. You choose to smile instead, and I agree with that. You know how many times I've done that shit? Child, I got a lot to cry for right now, but I ain't doing it. Anyway, the question for that day was, what is your biggest challenge in the morning? And before I give you my answer, I am going over to the community wall. I am going over to the community wall. Okay, Miss Naomi said, my biggest challenge in the morning is getting out of bed. I don't have a problem waking up, but getting out of bed is the issue. When it gets cold in the winter, it gets worse. Agreed. And when you leave a comment on my community wall, I do thank you for your comment. And I thanked her for her comment. I thanked everyone for all their comments Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Lynn T says, convincing myself to get out of bed and not go back to sleep. Once I'm up, it's whatever. LOL. Oh my goodness. So Sonia J says, my biggest challenge is getting up and getting to work. Getting to work on time, girl. Oh my goodness. So my biggest challenge, um, my biggest challenge is in the morning. I think I'm going to go with everybody else. I mean, getting out of bed. You know how you have to go to the bathroom in the morning. If it wasn't for that, I would stay in the bed all day long. I'm telling you, if I have nothing to do, like laundry or dishes or mop the floor, if the house is clean and everything is done, why am I getting out of bed? Why? Would you say, yes, I feel like I have to make myself get up. Facts. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm-mm. That's my answer. If I could stay in bed all day, I would. But I'm a morning person, so eventually I'm going to get up and start moving around. I just lay there and thank God for a little minute. Thank Him for choosing to wake me up every morning so that I can get my day started. Thank you for my legs, my arms, my sight, my smell, my taste. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you for everything. All right, so we covered that one. Let's go over and get to the next one, which is 7/29/26. Let's go over here. What y'all talking about? I oftentimes get so frustrated with having to swallow so many pills. Girl, don't start. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start. Please. Woo, girl. Okay, so that was Wednesday, 7/29/26, and the thought for that day was any lesson you refuse to learn, and we were just talking about this, any lesson that you refuse to learn will repeat itself until you do. Now, I hope Miss Ma'am isn't going to have to repeat the lesson. Lord, just give her insight so she won't have to repeat the lesson because she's 74 years old, Lord. I don't know how many times she's going to be able to repeat the lesson. Just give her insight now. Thank you. Ooh. Oh, listen, Felicia Fee, we are right there, okay? It seems like when I get down to a certain amount of pills, here comes my primary care doctor going, up. We need to protect your kidneys. So I'm going to prescribe this pill for you. And I'll be sitting there looking at this man like, do you not understand how many pills I came down from? At one time, I was taking 21 pills. 21. And now, let's see, 4, 5, 6. I'm taking 7 in the morning, okay? And 4 at night. That's 11. Okay? We don't want to go no higher, but see, I had to add 2 of my own. The the Tylenol arthritis, because I don't want to listen. Let me go off to the left for a minute. When you have lupus and you are in pain, you can see the pain specialist and they will give you drugs. Okay? They will give you drugs. Real drugs. I don't want that. I don't want those. This is why I choose to take the Tylenol arthritis for my aches and pains. I don't think I'll ever, I hope not, Lord. I hope I don't ever get to the point where I need those drugs. Okay? And y'all know why I'm saying it like that. Okay? Y'all know, for those who have lupus in this chat, y'all already know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, yeah. 21. I came down from 21 to 11. And 4 of those, 2 at night, Tylenol arthritis, and 2 in the morning, Tylenol arthritis. You understand? So, let's see. In actuality, I'm only taking 7. Okay? In actuality, I'm only taking 7. And that's high blood pressure, cholesterol. The only 2 pills I take for lupus are at night. You know what I'm saying? So, child. Anyway, the question for that day was, do you believe in fate or that a person shapes their own destiny? Do you believe in fate or that a person shapes their own destiny? So now I'm going to go over to the community wall. I'm going over to the community wall. Miss Naomi says, I believe in fate, but I think that a person can change their destiny by taking steps to improve their quality of life. So it's a mixture of both. You heard that? You heard what Miss Naomi said? Lynn T said, I believe it's a little of both. Determination and hard work will put you on the right path, but other circumstances might also influence your goals, such as generational wealth, complexion for protection, etc. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, my answer, I'm going to agree with y'all and say both. And the reason why is because some people go, I just knew when I was a little boy that I wanted to be a firefighter. Or I just knew when I was a little boy I wanted to be a policeman. Or I knew when I was a little girl I wanted to be a sergeant in the army. And these are things that these people have accomplished. What you say? Speaking of meds, I gotta go eat so I can say, girl, go eat so you can take your meds. Thank you for coming through, Felicia Fee. We love you. Ciao. So, some people accomplish those goals. My question is, what do you do after you accomplish that? Do you make another goal once you reach that one? Or do you just stay there? Look, that's a question for another day, but my answer my answer is both. That's my answer. Okay? Uh okay, I read both of those comments. Okay. Now let's go over and do the last one, which is Friday. Alrighty then. So that was Friday. Let me get in these comments. So the thought for that day was calm calm minds create powerful, lasting decisions. Some people can't think unless their mind is going 25 miles per hour. But me, I have to have a calm mind. So, calm minds create powerful, lasting decisions. You think better when you calm. At least I think so. So, now the question for that day was, wait a minute. Okay. I knew something was wrong. Forgot to turn the page. The question for that day was, what is your favorite way to start your day? Let me go over to the community wall. Miss Naomi said, I like to start my day by waking up early and reading or scrolling social media and then drift back to sleep, then wake up again and go to brunch. I can only do this on the weekend. uh, Now we got a new comment from Miss Latoya Gilmore, 896. And she says, my favorite way to start my day is waking up, thank God, and then calling my husband. Okay. And then Lynn T says, I like to take my time getting ready. So I wake up earlier to have the time. My favorite way to start the day is slowly. I like to ease into it. I hate to rush. It makes me grouchy. So then Miss Naomi replied to Lynn T's comment and said, sis, I start my day the same way. I get up way before I need to. I don't like to rush. I do believe that was all the comments. Yes, ma'am. Turkey spam. So now, my answer is, my favorite way to start the day is with prayer. First, I thank God. I thank you for waking me up on today. Thank you. And then I decide what it is I'm going to have for breakfast. No matter what I eat, I must have a cup of coffee. Coffee is a must. It is one of my favorite luxuries. Okay? One of my favorite luxuries that I like to have. Coffee. And then I sit down and I think for a while, do I have to go out today? If I don't, what am I going to watch today? Is there anything new I haven't seen? And while I'm thinking about that, I'm scrolling to get a good morning meme so I can send it out to where it needs to go. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. In prayer, brainstorming my day, scrolling and rushing to get out the house. Oh my God. Whoo, child. But there you have it. Episode number 83 has been completed. We have jumped over another milestone and we have gotten through episode number 83. I got a few questions written down. I'm going to have to find a few more because I'm starting to see that you all are paying attention. This is what I'm starting to see. You all are paying attention. So now, I have to make these questions a little harder. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this Sunday. Let's go to the calendar. Today is the 2nd. The next Sunday is the 9th. And I will be here with you all on the 9th. Okay, which is Sunday. Come back Sunday and we shall discuss. Okay? So, I want you all to be safe out there. Educate someone if you can. If you are willing to do it. Okay? Educate someone because our people are a mess, you know. But educate someone if you can. Take great care. Be blessed, never stressed, and stay safe always, you know. I love my people. I just love y'all. And I hope y'all have an amazing Sunday. Now, I'm going to get into something and see what there is out here goings on. Y'all be good now. Or not.